Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Timeless Style and Traditional Values. It's me, Vittoria, your host, and we are so excited because my sister Julia is joining us today on the show. And of course, our Mommom is back as usual. My mom can't be here today. She has a lot of different things going on with all the different graduations that just happened, and we had 5 people in our family graduate this past week. I graduated from law school, Julia graduated from accounting school. Um, and then my fiance graduated, our other sister graduated, and her fiance graduated. So it's been a busy weekend. And all that to say, mom can't be here this week, but we're here and we're so excited to talk about 2 different things today. First, for the timeless style aspect of the show, we're going to talk about bridal showers. Obviously, with 2 weddings in the family this year, that's something that's very prevalent in our lives. And then for the traditional value aspect of the show, we're going to talk about the importance of a thank you note and what that means. So let's start off. Let's talk about bridal showers. As you all know, I'm getting married in December. My sister is getting, my other sister, not this one, she's getting married in August. And I have 3 or 4 other weddings that I'm going to this year for a bunch of different friends. So lots of bridal showers happening. Mom, you obviously have the most experience with bridal showers. You've gone to more of them than either of us have ever gone to combined, probably. So why don't you talk to us about kind of the tradition and history of a bridal shower and just how it's looked over the years for you.
Well, back in the day, and first of all, wedding showers are just, and baby showers too, they're just so much fun. It's just happy occasion. Um, uh, now I don't know where they originated, but back in the, 50s and 60s, there was no such thing as a registry. We didn't know what color your bathroom was. You just bought things that you knew the bride would need. Um, And back in those days, people married pretty young, so you really never had your own apartment or anything. So you really needed everything. And you just were delighted to get whatever you got. And you hoped that when you did get your little apartment, it had a white bathroom so that all the towels matched because you really did. You just got whatever and you made it work. Um, when the registries came out, I was not a happy person.
Mhm.
But now it does make it easier. I mean, you know what the bride wants, and now they deliver it to your door. So it's very different today. It's very different today, but it's still happy occasions and a fun thing.
Mhm. What do you think about buying gifts that are not on the registry? Like now, obviously, registries used to not be a thing. Now that's pretty much exclusively. I don't think I know a bride who isn't registered. And if I did meet somebody who wasn't registered, I would be like, hello, here's Amazon, let's sign you up, right? What do you think about buying gifts off the registry? Do you think that's appropriate or not?
I think it's appropriate because I have actually seen some registries that the gifts were so expensive that I really wondered how, like, I knew people that were going, and I was thinking they're not going to be able to afford most of the things that are on this registry. And of course, we have inflation, so it's pretty common. But I know I myself have gone off registries. Sometimes there is an item that I absolutely love, and it's not on the registry, and I do know that the person doesn't have whatever it is and I just go forward and do that. I do usually try to stay with the registry, but I have gone off of the registry, and I do think that that is appropriate because sometimes you just see something that you just know they will love,
Mhm.
and uh, and so you just go with that.
Well, and I think obviously as a bride myself trying to register, there's stuff that I don't even know that I need. Whereas like you've had a house and been married for 55 or 56 years now. And so
57.
57, wow, I'm off. And so there's things that I don't even know that I need that in your expertise and wisdom can recommend for me. But Julia, what do you think? Do you think it's okay to go off the registry or you think people should stick to the registry?
I mean, I think best you can, you should stick to the registry, especially because that's their preference.
Mhm.
But I do agree with Grandma that sometimes there are very expensive items and not everybody can afford that. So, especially if you're not actually going to the wedding, you might just want to buy something a little more low key. So, I think it's fine to go off the registry, especially if you know the person too. If you know that they would specifically like something.
I think one thing as a bride myself, I can speak to this.
Oh, yeah.
You know, I have tons of experience in
She's
this area,
elite.
obviously. But I think one thing is that I wouldn't recommend going off the registry to get something that they're registered for. So if they're registered for a particular coffee maker, for example, don't go buy a different coffee maker.
Right.
If
Right.
it's something that you know that they're not registered for already, that they don't have, that you know they'll like or that you think will be super helpful, it's like a household essential, go for it. Totally go for
Right.
it.
I'm going to give you an example. I think every household should have a little dirt devil. And for, you get the crumbs off the floor and all that, and they're light and it's easy to use. And I have already bought a dirt devil going off because I just know that when they get it, they probably don't care, but when they use it, they're going to say, wow, I'm glad I have this. So, yeah. So that's an example of something that they don't even know that they are going to like and will use all the time.
Everyone did indeed open a dirt devil for Christmas last year.
That is
Yes, that's true. I gave everybody a
Dirt
dirt
devil
devil.
Christmas.
he did. It was like, oh, and you get a dirt devil, and you get a
Boxes, a dirt devil.
Did you get them on sale somewhere, Mommom?
I did, of
Okay,
course.
of
There
course.
it is.
Anyway, so now let's transition to talking about what do you wear to a bridal shower. So Julia, she's one of them. She's a maid of honor in my wedding, along with my other sister, and you're a maid of honor in our sister Bella's wedding.
Yes.
So you had to plan 2 bridal showers this year. And we decided that we were going to go with a dress code for the bridal showers. What do you think? How do you think people should dress when there is a dress code, and what if there's not a dress code? What do you think are your best tips for what people should wear to a bridal shower?
So, if there is a dress code, I would say stick to it as much as possible, especially because you don't want to show up and everybody's dressed one way and you're dressed either you're overdressed or you're underdressed. It's just better to stick to the dress code if there is one. If there's not a dress code, I would personally suggest a sundress or maybe if you're going like a tea outfit, if you were going to tea, something like that. But definitely, I know people wear, sweatpants and jeans all the time, but I think it's more a formal occasion, especially because a wedding is such a special event, especially for those who do it right.
Well, I think too, you want to consider who the bride is, right? Like if it's a bride that's a lot more bougie and likes a lot more expensive, fanciful things, it's probably okay to dress up a little bit more for that particular bride. But I have a friend who she is like the most simple person on the face of the planet. She just loves everything to be very easy, basic, simple. If I were to show up in like a cute little tweed outfit, she wouldn't care that I wore that, but it would probably be way overdressed compared to everybody else at her shower. So I would probably wear something a little more simple for that one. Mom, what are your best tips for how to dress for a bridal shower?
Well, I think that what you said is really good. You have to know the person. You have to know what the vibe is going to be there. And but personally, I get dressed nice to any shower I go to. I'm not going to I don't wear sweatpants, so I'm not going to be wearing those kinds of things. So for me and my generation, we just get dressed nice.
Do you think it's better to be overdressed or underdressed at a bridal shower?
Probably overdressed, but not over the top. I mean, you don't want to be in a dress that is a semi-formal thing or whatever. But if everybody else is there in jeans and I come in with nice black slacks on and a nice blazer and a pretty sweater, I'm happy. I might be overdressed, but yeah. But
So when in doubt, it's okay to be it's better to go over than underdressed.
right, right.
Right. Well, I think that's super valuable and helpful for me and all my bridal showers that I'm going to be going to in the next couple of months. You've got a lot of bridal showers coming up.
I do.
It's definitely wedding season, people. So maybe we'll do an episode here about what to actually wear to a wedding, because I know that can be tricky with like wedding dress codes and what those all mean. But now let's talk about thank you notes, right? Because I think that goes along. If you're the bride and you're receiving lots of gifts, or let's just say you have a graduation party or somebody sends you a birthday gift, thank you notes. Mom, Do you think that in the modern day and age, obviously not a lot of people send mail anymore. Do you think that a thank you text will work? Or do you think it has to be a note?
Not for me. It might work for other people. And I certainly have gotten those. I haven't been angry or anything, but you know, I just remember being a little girl and we got our gifts and grandmom would sit us down, your great grandmom, and she'd say, okay, here's the notes and the cards, and you write your thank you notes out. And that was something it was just done. It was taught and it was done. So an email or a text, I know that that's how people communicate today, but there's nothing like getting a really nice thank you note in the mail. And I actually keep them. So the nice ones anyway, the really well-written ones. And it's something that I enjoy getting. So if I had to make a law, it would be you have to write thank you notes.
That's her law.
That's a law.
Her one chance to make a law, and that's it.
If someone was president, the executive order would say paper, snail mail, thank you notes
That's
only
right.
here on out.
With a pretty stamp on it. With a pretty
Yes.
stamp.
Pretty sad. Um, Julia, so you're obviously a different generation.
Yeah.
Do you think that people nowadays even know to write a thank you note? And do you think that a thank you note, like somebody in our day and age of our generation, do you think that they value thank you notes just as much as thank you texts?
Nobody writes thank you notes anymore. I personally am very old school. I actually just wrote 2 thank you notes yesterday for very small gifts that I was given. But a lot of my friends, families who received thank you notes from me, they would say to me, "This was so beautiful. I've never received thank you notes from anybody, and I love that you do that. I'm going to try to get my kids to do it." So I think it's a lost
Yes.
art.
People don't even, yeah, people don't even know that it's appropriate. They don't even know
They
that you
don't.
should write a note, which
Well,
is
why
kind of
should we
sad.
write notes? Like, why is that important? Why is that something that should be a traditional value?
I don't think people realize it shows appreciation, and appreciation goes such a long way. When you feel like you are appreciated, you want to do more. And that goes in anything. That goes not just in gifts. It can be, you know, you just do a nice deed for somebody and you get a thank you note and you're like, wow, that's really great. They really appreciated that I did that. When you don't get a note, at least my generation, you don't get a note or at least a text, you just feel like they don't care. They don't appreciate it. And so it makes me tend to not put my best foot forward for that person because they never acknowledged what was done.
And you don't know whether they liked it, whether they used it,
Right. Or
especially.
did they get it? Or did
Yeah.
they get it?
Mhm.
We, you know, Pop and I are always sending stuff in the mail.
Yeah.
And when we don't hear, I can't tell you how many times we just don't hear anything. And then I'm like, well, I don't want to ask them because I don't want them to feel bad or I don't want them to feel like, oh, I'm waiting for a thank you. That's not what it's about. But I want to make sure, did they get it?
Mhm.
So I go to the post office and see if it's lost in the mail.
Mhm.
So a thank you note says, I got your gift and I liked it and I appreciated it.
Mhm.
So that's a practical thing that you know that they got it
Mhm.
and enjoyed it.
Do you think that like there's any gift that's too small for a thank you note? Or like let's say, what if you go to somebody's house for dinner, right? You go to your friend's house for dinner. Um, do you write a thank you note then, or would a text suffice?
Well, I write thank you notes.
Mhm.
So, yeah. And you're just reminding me, we went to a party last week and I didn't write a note. So I'll be writing a note this afternoon.
Oh.
Yeah, we were at a neighbor's house. I just send thank you notes. That's how I was raised. That's how I was taught. And that's what I taught your mom. And that's why you girls do thank you notes because she taught you.
Mhm.
So it's been generational.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I hope you're going to teach my great grandchildren to write notes.
One
We
day, Lord
will.
willing.
We will.
Um, I think the other thing about thank you notes is that, a lot of people are like, oh, why do I have to do that? It's so much faster and easier to just send a text. Or, oh, I told them when I was there that I really liked it and that's good enough. But in my opinion, I think, somebody spent money and time and resources and invested in you, in having you over for dinner, in sending you a check in the mail, in buying you that gift, in showing up for you. And so spending a few minutes doesn't have to be a long drawn out note. It can just be a couple sentences, and spending 50 cents or however much a stamp is now. I don't know. I know the post office just,
73 cents.
oh, geez. But spending the 73 cents on the stamp, it's really not that much when you consider what that person did for you. And I also think that's, we're all about timeless traditional values here. I think that as Christian people, we're supposed to show our appreciation and show our thanks. And it's just a really simple, easy way to do that. So, in sum of this episode, when you're invited to an event, in this instance, particularly a bridal shower, because it is bridal shower season, making sure that you're dressing with timeless style, looking at the dress code, considering who the bride is, considering the venue, so that you can put your best foot forward for that bride to celebrate who she is and celebrate her future. And then, of course, if you're the bride or in any other circumstance where you're receiving a gift or going to someone's house for an event, making sure that you show your appreciation for what that person did for you. Please make sure you are subscribing to our podcast. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts, Spotify, YouTube, Apple Podcasts. Please subscribe, leave a 5-star review. Let us know in the comments what you want us to talk about and what you think about thank you notes. And then, of course, make sure you're checking out Culture of Life 1972, who sponsors our podcast. I have a Culture of Life dress on right now. You have a whole Culture of Life outfit on right now. Really great timeless styles that you can wear to
My
bride.
glasses.
Oh yeah.
I have a cultural light glass on.
There it is.
But there's a lot of options there of things that you can wear to all of your events this season, even bridal showers. So make sure you check it out and make sure you're following them on social media as well. With that, we will see you and talk to you next Friday at 7 p.m. for the next episode. Have a great weekend.